This is Mr. PTO, and you're listening to Echo Meld Radio. Today's date is November 18th, 2019. So I want to thank you for coming back to the podcast today, checking out what Mr. PTO has to say. Make sure that you follow Echo Meld Radio on Twitter, Snapchat, and Facebook. Also, feel free to hit Mr. PTO up in my email. That's going to be echomeldradio@gmail.com. Also, if you feel like supporting the podcast, and I hope that you do, you can support the podcast a number of ways. One, you can do that at anchor.fm/echomeldradio/support to show your support for the podcast. You can also do it through Cash App at $EchoMeldRadio, or preferably the cheaper route, which always helps out, Echo Meld Radio, on the YouTube channel. Make sure that you go ahead and hit the subscribe button and click the little bell so you can get the next notifications of my next episode and keep up with me that way. All right, my people. So today, as we know, this week is actually the Democratic debate. I believe it's on Wednesday. So today's topic, or today's title of the podcast, will be the Democrats' Fall Fray Festival. Now, here we are, fam. It's 2019, and the Democrats have yet to pick a candidate for the 2020 election, which is, I guess, that's fine. They're just too busy trying to get rid of Trump and get Trump on up out of office. Now, I don't think they realize what today's date is. If they did, the Democrats, they wouldn't have been having their field up to like 18 or 20 or something. They would have maybe like 8 candidates that they're kind of looking at, but they're not really doing a good job of what we like to say in football, clock management. Now, with the impeachment hearings heating up, more people have decided to try and join this Fall Fray Festival. Not sure what the deal is, but maybe it's like some kind of, chili cook-off that none of us have been invited to, just Democratic candidates. So maybe that's why more people are showing up. I know Mr. PTO loves his chili. I would show up too if I could. I just haven't been invited. Now, word on the street is Hillary Clinton is still considering joining the race and supposedly feels pressure to join the race. Now, personally, I don't think anyone is really pressuring her to run. I think it's more of a pride issue. She probably is watching the impeachment hearing saying, how did Trump beat me? He didn't beat me. I'm Hillary. If that is the case, which it might be, she has an ego too big for her body frame. If her ego was a person, the only way that it could take a selfie is to use Google Earth. Now, in later news, Michael Bloomberg has entered the race, and oddly enough, this guy has played both sides. He was a Republican as a mayor of New York, and he even ran as an independent once. So in my opinion, he might actually be the best candidate choice for the Democrats, and maybe Tulsi Gabbard as well, would be my 2 picks for the Democrat candidates. Now, the issue Bloomberg faces is, in this particular climate, he's a rich white guy. Actually, he's even richer than Trump, probably 5 or even maybe 10 times over. And now the one good thing about his backstory is he's more of a rags to riches guy. He came from a middle class family, unlike Trump, who just came from money. The next Democrats debate will, like I said, be on Wednesday. And we'll see who will top all the other small people, who's going to kick who in the teeth to climb that ladder to success. But I would say after this particular debate, we should expect at least 2 to 3 candidates to fall out of contention. At least I hope so. And they start kind of focusing on one main person or maybe a couple main people that they're really thinking about picking for this. Now, of course, and unfortunately, during a lot of the Democrat debates, the topic will be this week, and I'm almost certain, is the wave of shootings. So today there was a shooting at Walmart, which adds to another string of shootings in the number of weeks. Now, which candidate will try and prey on the emotions of the public and make cries for gun confiscation or stricter gun laws? There's really no telling. But don't be surprised if these events are blamed on Trump like everything else. Which reminds me of when President Obama was in office and people would end their sentence with, "Thanks, Obama." I remember he got blamed for a whole lot of stupid stuff. And everything that was wrong was always, "Thanks, Obama." So I guess we're having "Thanks, Trump" here in 2019. Speaking of President Obama, though, he did say something that should have been said a while ago, but I'm glad he said it, which he said the Democrats may be leaning too far left and could even risk the election for the Dems with all of these unrealistic ideas. Now, I'm improvising a bit. He didn't say it all like that, but for the most part, that's what he said. Now, these promises of free is a bit overplayed. And, hey, let's tax the rich and let's stick it to the rich. Come on, people. We know that'll never happen. Taxes was created to punish the rich guy initially. And what happened? He figured out a way to get out of it with loopholes and saying, hey, I provide jobs, I do this, do that. And all the taxes ended up on the working class, which is most likely you. So let's kind of get out of some of this here, folks. Now, in theory, we can always say we can overtax the rich. We can overdo this on the rich. We can punish the rich. And then what do the rich do? The rich actually do a really kind of diabolical thing, but it's very effective. The rich will say, okay, you know what? Go ahead and tax us. And then we'll just lay off the working class. So take that, poor people, or middle class people, or upper middle class people. That's just what's going to happen. Yet again, they will figure out their tax loops and lay all of you off like they like to do if they ever get in a pinch. At this present time, the Democrats may really need to actually impeach President Trump if they really want to win. And definitely if they can't get on a more of a moderate concession. This whole free college, free health care, free this, free that. How do you pay for it? And I already know what some of you are going to say. Well, they said they'll crank up the printing press. Yeah, that's fine. But, your dollar's not really worth that much now. So I guess we could always crank up the printing press and print that stuff out of thin air. And then when, you pay $1 for one Tootsie Roll Pop, well, there you go. But hey, at least you got free college. Everybody can go to college for free. But just think about it like this. If everybody goes to college, or everybody has the ability to go to college for free, then what makes college any different than high school? You have now made college into a right instead of a privilege. Now, some of you are probably saying, well, college is a right. We should have the right to do so. Well, it wasn't like that about 25 years ago. You actually had to make good grades or be in a sport or just have, pretty well-off parents to get into college 25 to 30 years ago. Not the case now. However, now more companies say, well, you need a college degree, you need a college degree. Yeah, that's fine. But then when everybody has them, which a lot of people do now, it's oversaturated. And which is going to force you into the rabbit hole of, well, that's great you got an associate's, but you need a bachelor's. Then when everybody gets a bachelor's, oh, well, you need a master's. And then when everybody does that, everybody's hundreds of thousands of dollars in the hole in debt, can't pay their bills, got a master's degree, but, you may still be at some fast food chain or, some low budget job like that. But yet you're $150K in the hole in student loan debts and you can't get out of it. I don't see no point of that. Maybe a trade school where you can actually learn something, an actual skill. Great. I think those are better if you're just going to do the school thing. Now, this is just Mr. PTO's opinion. You grown man, grown woman, hey, you do what you got to do. I'm just saying, in my opinion, if you're going to take the time and go into debt for college, go ahead and get you some kind of trade. So now, my good people, I don't want to hold you too long. So now it is time for the moral of the story. So the moral of the story is we will be promised all types of gifts just for them to say, oops, damn, my card declined. Hey, can you pick up this tab this time? But I promise to get you in 2024. I got you. I promise. You just got to make sure you elect me. Or if President Trump gets back in 2020, you say, hey, elect the guy that I endorse or the lady that I endorse, whoever. So just know, at this point, vote for whoever makes sense for your situation. Do not expect much from either side, whether it's from the Republican side or Democrat side. Don't over expect anything from these people. They don't do anything now, but sit there and fight and use our money to, make themselves more rich or whatever the hell it is politicians do, because most of them don't do anything, at least not the ones in D.C. At this point, really your local government, whether it's your state and your city government, that's the ones that you probably want to pay more attention to, since they actually have the most impact on your life, for the most part anyways. But like I said, the moral of the story is, folks, you're going to pick up the bag. It is what it is. You're going to pick up the bag. You're going to have to pay for it. And that's that. And then they say, oh, wait, I got you in 2024. No worries. Just vote for me or vote for whoever it is I tell you to vote for. Mr. PTO just tells you, keep living life. Keep doing what you're doing. Provide for your family to the best of your ability. Continue to learn things and grow yourself as a person, spiritually, physically, and financially. Because that's all you can do. And no matter who's president, you still have to have a place to stay. You still need food to eat. You still need, a vehicle to drive depending on where it is that you stay at. You may not necessarily need a car, but you need a bus pass or a bike or something. You got to feed your dog, get your kids through school, whether that's college or high school, whatever. Life still goes on no matter who's running the White House, red or blue. But all right, my good people, I will holler at y'all later on. Take care of yourselves. Mr. PTO will be hollering at you good people hopefully in a few days, unless something kind of crazy jumps off that I feel that you need to hear. Then I'll be on a little bit sooner. Have a good night. Peace.